everybody. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers and all the people who are telling their fathers how great they are and all that jazz. I know it's not Father's Day when you're hearing this, but it's Father's Day to me right now, and I get to be here alone. Yay! That's the way we do it. Well, but here we are. Welcome to episode 121 of GreenBean's Jets Pod. I am happy that you are here. I hope you enjoyed your Father's Day. We had a nice day down here in the woods of rural Virginia. It was nice and sunny. We got chickens and birds and all kinds of stuff and tomatoes, peppers and radishes growing. It's a great Father's Day. I hope you enjoyed it. Episode 121, where we will continue to talk about the New York Jets through the offseason, just like you like to do, because it's dead out there. We got some stuff, though. We got some good stuff, and we're going to pull it apart and talk about it and see how realistic it really is. We got some Aaron Rodgers predictions. We have some Bucky Brooks psyching us up about a couple players that we have on our roster, and we even have some player profiles to get into. We have kind of a split player profile today, which is going to be interesting, and it harkens back to when I became a Jets fan and I sought out this, what number do I wear? What jersey? I want to play football. What number should I be? All those kinds of thoughts are going to get funneled into this episode, where you and I will hang out and chat for a few minutes about our beloved team that just might be turning a corner. Before we do, I'd like to remind you of a couple small little things. One is the Milk Thumbs. Yeah, it's Milk Thumb time. Ba, 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 ba. Go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it is greatly appreciated. I'm like 5 away from 11,000. If we could just do that real quick, that would be fantastic. I would be grateful, and it helps the channel more than you think to hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button. Guys, I want to remind you of our sponsor for this episode, the one and only Manscaped, the finest in below-the-waist men's grooming. Well, they're not only below the waist any longer. They still have all that great stuff to offer, but now they've gone from below the waist up to the face with the Beard Hedger Pro. I got to be honest, I love it. I love everything about Manscaped. I'm currently running out of the balm. I ran out of the oil. I got to re-up and get these products because they're good. It's actually good stuff. But the Beard Hedger Pro, the unit itself, is nothing short of amazing. It removes all of the attachments and all the stuff that you deal with having to maintain a beard. It's all gone. It's right there. It's fantastic. And you can save 20% off by using the promo code GreenBean when you get to checkout. Go ahead, pick all the products that you want. When you get to the checkout, type in GreenBean. 20% will miraculously disappear from your bill, and they will throw on free international shipping. So no matter where you are, way down there in New Zealand, don't worry, you're not paying a dime for Manscaped to ship you what you ordered and save 20% on by using that promo code GreenBean. And I want to thank Manscaped for sponsoring this episode of GreenBean's Jets Pod. Let's do it, huh? Here we are. It's Father's Day. It's the middle of June. We got nothing. Everybody's hanging out. They're all on the beach somewhere. They're doing the thing. And we're still here trying to suck up any Jets news that we can. We're deconstructing our thoughts and stats and all these things, hypotheticizing. Well, the first thing that we got to do is we got to look at our player profiles for episode 121, and they will be an interesting little combo because there is a guy that's on the New York Jets right now that wears a number 21. Everybody's in love with him. He's a huge fan favorite. We'll get into him in just a second, but I want to talk about another guy. When I became a fan, in 1980, the end of 1981, 82, 83 was kind of the season that I was really a Jets fan. You know what I mean? I was ready for the start of the season. I was wearing a jersey, the whole thing. So I was here right at that time. That's when I really kind of took my first real bite of the apple, let's say. So there was a guy wearing number 21 at that time. Some of you might know, some of you don't care. Some of you are like, who the hell is he talking about? There was a guy named Kirk Springs, a safety on the New York Jets. Now, why did I care so much about the number 21? Why was I drawn to Kirk Springs? He was only here for a few years. He played for like 4 years for the Jets. He had 25 starts. Not that big of a deal. But it just so happened that the Parsippany Panthers, the little peewee team that I had joined, they were handing out the jerseys. And I didn't know what number to pick. I was like, I don't know yet. I don't know what I am. Am I big? Am I small? Am I slow? Am I fast? I don't understand. But I wanted to pick a number. The coach said to me, you know what's a good number that a lot of people don't choose? I said, what's that? Now remember, I'm a little tiny fella. I'm a little tiny kid playing peewee football. He says, number 21. I said, that's a good one. He said, it really is. And people don't pick it. Everybody wants 32 or 14 or whatever it might be. 21's a good one. I said, okay, I'm in. So I took number 21. And then what I did was I looked to see who 21 was on the New York Jets. It was Mr. Springs. And he was a safety. And listen to this. I don't know what game of the year it was, but it's hard to organize it. But I remember this, and I was in love with him. And I still remember him because of this. There was a game the Jets were playing the New Orleans Saints where Kirk Springs took a punt return, 75 yards for a touchdown to win the game. The Jets were trailing, and they won the game. It was a fourth quarter punt return for a touchdown. Wearing my number, baby. And I was all in. I still have an affinity for the number 21 because of that. So, Kirk Springs, thank you for the memory. Thank you for being a Jet. We don't talk about you very often. You had a short stint with us. You were with the Seahawks as well, but you'll always be a Jet in my heart, and I thank you. Now, the other guy is Ashton Davis. He's the one wearing number 21, another safety right now, wearing number 21. And he's got an interesting role with the Jets. Robert Saleh and Ulbrich seem to love this guy. He's weird, right? He won't play for 3 games, and they put him in for 1 play. He gets an interception, and then they take him out. It's weird, right? Now, he only played 1% of the defensive snaps last year. 1% of the snaps. But he played 75% of the special team snaps. So it's one of those situations, right? Why did we draft this guy? Athleticism. That's what we hear. Joe Douglas likes to do that. That's what he's like. I'm betting on athleticism. If all things are equal, you got the character, he's a good kid, he works hard, all those things, he's going to lean athleticism every day of the week. That's what we've seen from Joe Douglas consistently. Ashton Davis, when he was drafted, I have to be real frank with you guys. I hated it. I hated the pick. Hated it. Now, there's numerous reasons for that. One is I really wasn't into an athletic guy who played track. I like football. I want guys who are like snarling, foam. That's what I want. He wasn't that guy. Super athletic, all that kind of great. But the other thing is we had Jamal Adams and Marcus May at the time. So I'm like, why are we using a 3rd-round pick on a safety? We did, I loved the first 2 rounds, the left tackle, wide receiver. Okay, keep it going, baby. We're going to get this team right. And we go safety, a position that, in my opinion, we didn't need. But here's the interesting thing. We didn't know this yet, but I got a sneaking suspicion that Joe Douglas already knew at that time. It might not be today. It might not be next week. But Jamal Adams is not long for this team. I don't want him on my team. He's a punk. He's a loudmouth. He's really not all that great. He doesn't impact the game. He can't catch. All those kinds of things. Played it the right way. Jamal's a stud. Jet for life. All that kind of stuff. Soon as the trade came down the pike that he wanted, he grabbed it. But he already knew that was going to happen. That's my take on it. I'm pretty confident that that's accurate. Joe Douglas thinks ahead. He's not living in, right now. Oh my God, what happened? Like the whole thing last year with the draft. They took Broderick Jones. He doesn't know what to do. He's scrambling. He has no idea any other player. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Joe Douglas isn't doing that. So in my opinion, he thought ahead. He brought on the safety. said, okay, we got a guy, third round pick, super athletic. And when we move Jamal Adams, we already have a guy on here and we can bolster it any way we want from there. That's the way I think about it. Now, Ashtyn Davis, he really hasn't been all that good, right? As a matter of fact, he might not make the team this year. He might because Saleh and Ulbrich love him and he's a special team guy, so I imagine Boyer likes him. All those types of coaches behind you, it's going to be pretty good to have on your side. Fair enough, right? It's good guys, good list of people to have in your corner. But I think at some point, you got to put up or shut up. Now, if they love what he's doing on special teams, he had 5 tackles last year. I don't see too much impact. But who knows what he's doing, if he's playing the role that they want him to play really well and all that jazz. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Ashtyn Davis. I think a lot of Jets fans could take him or leave him at this point. He just hasn't done much. But maybe if they play him more, he can find the ball more. He has that kind of uncanny ability to sniff it out and get it when he's on the field, so who knows? But Ashtyn Davis, our player profile, we'll see. We'll see how it goes with this guy. We just don't know. He's super athletic. We can say that, right? We know he's very fast, very strong, all those things. Very, very quick, very limber, agile, all that stuff. Great. Ashtyn Davis and Kirk Springs are player profiles of the week. Now let's get into what we're talking about this week. We got a couple interesting nuggets that I'm in favor of hearing. I like this kind of stuff. We don't hear it often being Jets fans. And to do that, let's get into the news of the week. So the first thing, just to talk about it quickly, we got this Chuck Clark situation going on. We brought on Adrian Amos to fill the safety position, and then we found out right after it, oh yeah, Chuck Clark might be injured. We haven't gotten any updates on that, which is interesting. We got really one report. Everybody took it and ran with it as if it was firm. We just don't know. We haven't gotten really too many updates. I'm looking around. Maybe we will by the time we hear this. There's a growing suspicion that maybe the injury isn't quite what we thought it was, which would be great news. But assuming that it is, it's nice to see that the Jets went right out and brought in another safety. Doesn't lead me to believe that they weren't considering him prior, Amos that is. But the Chuck Clark thing is going to be really interesting because I think they had a lot of uses for him, moving him up into the linebacker position at times, which he's played a lot of at Baltimore. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm hoping that he gets that second opinion or whatever it is that's going on and they find out he's fine. It was a scrape. It's a flesh wound. Who knows? I mean, that's what I'm hoping. Until we hear anything definitive, I'm just going to lean on the positive. Imagine that. Imagine not going all the way to, oh my God. Imagine it's hard. It's hard for me. I go, oh my God, injury. This is the worst. We're done. That's what I tend to lean toward. That's my default. I'm going to choose to stay on the positive. We ever heard nothing. One guy said, there's reason to believe he's hurt. Okay. Anything else? Nope. That's it. So maybe we don't go all the way to the earth is blowing up. And let's just believe in the positive until we hear otherwise confirmed. And there's that. So another thing that came out this week, Bucky Brooks, that is, over at NFL.com, put out his non-quarterback pillars of the franchise building blocks list. So top 10, and 2 Jets made the top 10. Isn't that an interesting thing? Every now and then we'll get one. That's super nice. But here's the thing, non-quarterback. So obviously this year it would be Aaron Rodgers. We go, oh, of course, right, Aaron Rodgers. But it's not quarterback. So then what? So if we had Aaron Rodgers and he's a super duper building block of a franchise, that means we got 2 more. Who could they be? Well, the list started like this. Micah Parsons is way up top at number 1. It makes sense. Nick Bosa, right at number 2. Okay, makes a little sense. Then we got Justin Jefferson. I don't know who that is. Is he any good? I never heard of him. Only the best receiver in that class by many of our estimations, and it's happening, but there are others. But so right after Justin Jefferson at number 4, appropriately, is our 4th overall pick in the 2022 draft, Sauce Gardner, our cornerback extraordinaire, which I got to tell you, I just talked about all the positivity and all that kind of shit. going to my default setting. I can't handle all this positive press, man. It bothers me. I feel like it's a spooky, jinxy thing. I'm trying not to bite onto that one, but I can't help it. But Bucky Brooks seems to like Sauce Gardner. Put him as the fourth on his top 10 list. Fourth player on the top 10 list for non-quarterback franchise building blocks. Let's see what he had to say. So he says, the second-year pro quickly seized the crown last season as the premier lockdown corner in the league. Amazeballs. Gardner's length, athleticism, and cover skills stymie wideouts at the line of scrimmage while also shrinking the strike zone for quarterbacks attempting to chalk up completions on downfield throws in his area. That's right, shrink it. So maybe I don't throw it over there. Maybe I stop trying to test this guy. With the 2022 Defensive Rookie of the Year throwing a blanket on half of the field as the number one's new cornerback one, coaches and executives should view the sophomore playmaker as an essential piece of a championship puzzle. Ooh, championship puzzle. Ooh, is that what we're doing? We're working on a championship puzzle. That is exciting. So that guy, Sauce Gardner, is followed by Jamar Chase. Amazing, right? Jamar Chase, another stud muffin. Derwin James, number 6. Okay, we like him. Remember there used to be the whole Jamal Adams, Derwin James thing? Not today. But right after Derwin James, we have another fella that we all know and love, Mr. Quinnen Williams, the 7th overall on Bucky Brooks' list. What did he say about Big Q? He says, the monstrous defensive tackle has become one of the elite defenders in the game as the centerpiece of the Jets defense and is due for a new contract before the season begins. Williams has collected 25 sacks since 2020, flashing heavy hands and elite first step. Quickness, the 6'3", 303-pounder is a rare athlete with an emerging set of skills as a destructive force at the line of scrimmage. As the focal point of a Jets defense that is trending upward, Williams has given the football world a sneak peek of his impact potential. He's not even there yet, and he's at the 7th spot on Bucky Brooks' list. Just because, we'll round it out. Tristan Wirfs at 8, Minkah Fitzpatrick at 9, and wrapped up by offensive tackle Penei Sewell of the Detroit Lions. Remember we had that whole debate about Penei Sewell versus Jamar Chase. The Bengals are crazy. They're both on the list, so whoever, right? He did well. And Jamar Chase is higher, so maybe the Bengals are not regretting it. But it's good to see Penei Sewell do well. I was a fan of him coming out. But anyway, Quinnen and Sauce on the list. Nice to see. And I have to admit, I agree. I think these are two of the premier players in the NFL. I also think Garrett Wilson could have made that list. Probably tough to add him at this point after 1 year with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson on the list. You can't have all wide receivers, I suppose. But man, oh man, the Jets are cooking up something nice here with the young crew. And that's why adding guys like Aaron Rodgers and even the Al Woods of the world, it makes sense to me. It's a nice balance, right? You got to have the young guys that are actually elite. That's what we've been missing all these years. It's like we depended on free agency. Our draft picks were like, I hope they don't suck. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it was. Oh, yeah, Lorenzo Malden's going to be awesome. Yeah, man. I mean, that's where we were. Now we have these young guys as core pieces, and then we can add on top of them. That's a better formula. That's a better system, in my opinion. So there you go. Bucky Brooks' list. Not bad. What do you think of that? Do you agree? Do you think it's overhyped? Are you nervous? Let me know in the comments, man. I'm curious if I'm the only one out here freaking out about all this positivity. I'm trying. I think I'm doing all right. I'm just talking to you. This is us. This is just us hanging out. That's why I'm talking about it. I don't say this to my wife. I'm like, yeah, we're going to kick everybody's ass. That's what I say. My wife's like, you think the Jets are going to be better than the Ravens? I'm like, you damn right we're going to be better than the Ravens. We're going to fucking stop the Ravens this year. And then I come here, I'm like, I'm afraid of it. But that's how it is. I talk to you freely. That's what we're friends. We're all in the same boat here as Jets fans. And while we can talk about the Hall of Fame game and all that jazz coming up, not quite yet. So that's the news of the week. Yep. The Jets are great. I love it. I'm having a good time, I promise. But here's the thing. Boomer Esiason's out there talking some smack too. And not only is he talking some, he's raising the bar even higher. Can we raise it even higher? I don't even know what's going on here. So let's talk about that in this week's Intelligent Gripe. So on his most recent show, he said some things that, look, they make some sense, but it's hard to go from 9 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns a year by the quarterback to 50. So he said a few things that we're going to take a look at. We're going to see, like, is this real? Is it possible? Are we like, is it so far-fetched that it's bordering ridiculousness, or is it in the realm, maybe a little bit optimistic, but it's realistic? Can we do that? So let's take a look at some things. We're going to combine some stuff and see if this is even real. Number one, this is what he said. You got a quarterback that has a major chip on his shoulder. Okay? Now, just break it for a second. What has Aaron Rodgers done with a chip on his shoulder? We've seen it. That's when we have the most motivated Aaron Rodgers. We have really 2 examples that I can give you. Number one, he thought he would be the first overall pick with the Niners back when he was a draft pick. He thought he was going to be the number 1 overall pick. They passed on him for Alex Smith. And then he slid all the way down to the 20s and was selected by the Green Bay Packers, who already had Brett Favre, which essentially means I'm not going to play. So he was pissed. So by the time he got in the league, he was on fire and he wanted to make everybody pay. He has actually gone on record and said how upset he was and how that chip carried and how he wanted to make everybody realize the mistake that they made. And we saw, MVPs, Super Bowl champion, all those kinds of things that he's done. And just, among the league leaders pretty much every single year. Then we see he's looking like he might be settling. He's still very, very good. He's still one of the best. But he's not, maybe he's aging out and everything. So the Packers they get a new coaching staff. And the first thing that they do is they trade up in the first round to draft a quarterback, Jordan Love. So Aaron Rodgers goes, oh, okay. So I see what they're doing. Now I'm Brett Favre. This is okay. All right, I'm on the other side of this one. What does he do? He responds with back-to-back MVP seasons. Back-to-back MVP seasons. So, feeling slighted, feeling like Green Bay doesn't want him and everything. You see this. First it was the league, then it's Green Bay. So now we're here, and everybody's saying he's washed and the whole thing. When he had 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, he's clearly not washed. So here we go. We got a motivated Aaron Rodgers with a chip on his shoulder, and we already know what that looks like. Now listen to this. You have an offensive coordinator who has to have a major chip on his shoulder. Now that's Nathaniel Hackett. Just so turns out that's the guy that did the multiple MVP, the back-to-back MVP thing with Aaron Rodgers in 2020 and 21. So now they're together and they're both pissed off. Well, why is Hackett so pissed? Well, because he was good enough to get a head coaching job. In his first year, toward the end of the year, doesn't even finish it. They go, get out of here. You're fired. You suck. And everybody starts saying he's a hack. So now he's pissed. What the hell? 1 year ago, I was the king of the universe. Now I'm a piece of garbage. Now he's got to have a chip on his shoulder. So you put these 2 guys with a chip on their shoulder back together to show the world, and then you put them on the New York Jets. I'm thinking if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, big caveat. Now, the good news is he's been able to stay healthy for the larger portion of his career. Most of the seasons, he's played every game. So there's that. You got that on your side at least. He's going to have 50 touchdown passes this season. And here's the word. Minimum. If he stays healthy, 50 touchdown passes minimum. He may set the touchdown pass record this year. I'm telling you. So then he doubles down. Touchdown passing record this year. This is going to be the greatest season by an NFL quarterback in the history of the game. That's what he's saying. So immediately, everybody goes, oh my God. Even I looked at this article. First thing I see is the word absurd, the brink of absurdity. That's what they're talking about here. Brink of absurdity. Okay, well, is it real? What is it? It sounds crazy, especially for the Jets, because let's be real here. The Jets haven't done so great. They haven't done well in the quarterback thing. the quarterback thing. Okay, we haven't done so well. So let's take a look at exactly how that's been for us. How far away are the Jets from this goal? Like how lofty of an expectation is for this franchise. Now, no matter what it is, who comes, doesn't matter. This franchise has a specific air about it, a cloud, a thickness, a history. So can you do it maybe somewhere else and come here and not be able to do it? That's a real question. So let's see what we've done to set the stage for how realistic this is. Now, this is, you see this list here. So let's take a look at this list. You got Darnold at the end. He had his best year with us was 17. Then you got Wood. I don't know who that is. I'll be real honest. I was just scouring my brain. I know a lot of I know most Jets guys, but Wood, I don't know who that is. So 1963, a little bit before my time, 18 touchdowns. Namath had 18 touchdowns in 1965. Then you got Richard Todd, 1983, Kirk Springs. All right, there we go. I was watching this one, 18 touchdown passes. Then we got Darrow in 1961. He had 19. Ooh, okay. Then Namath is back with the next few. He had 19, 19, and 19 from 66, 69, and 72, respectively. Then we got Darnold. I guess that wasn't his best. He got 19 touchdowns. Darnold wasn't so bad. Why want to get rid of Sammy Boy so bad? Right? He's 19 touchdown passes. This is pretty good for the Jets. Namath comes back with 20 in 1974. Then we got a Vinny Testaverde showing up in the year 2000 with 21 touchdown passes. Chatty Boy steps into the list with 22. He ties Brett Favre in the 1 year we had him in 2008. Richard Todd is back in 1981. That's our Super Bowl year that we didn't make it. 25. And then you got O'Brien the next 2 years, 85 and 86. He had 25 touchdown passes each of those years. Then we step it up again. Darrow's back. Yay! 1960, Darrow with 26. Namath is back in 67. That's a good year for him. 26. Mark Sanchez with 26. No, not 2009 or 2010. 2011, the year we were 8-8 and didn't make the playoffs. Mark Sanchez goes off for 26 touchdowns, which is just amazing for the New York Jets. We got 1998, the best year really of, 2010 I think was amazing, right? That was, we were the best team in the league in my opinion that year. But 1998, Vinny Testaverde's 29 touchdown passes. That team, in my opinion, should have definitely, we blew it. Like, we didn't get beat, we blew it. You know what I mean? And that's the worst part about it. We should have went to the Super Bowl. We should have two more rings, in my opinion. 2010 and 1998. But Testaverde gets 29, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick shows up, and he throws for 31. Breaks all the records in one bullshit year. You know what I mean? With Todd Bowles and everybody. It was fun. We had a good time. But 31 for Fitzpatrick. So we're looking at 19 missing touchdowns to meet this mark. So all the way back 1960 to 2022, we haven't seen anything like that. We haven't sniffed this one. We just don't know what that is, okay? We don't know what 50 touchdown passes is. We don't get it. We don't know. We don't know what 40 is. We've never seen it. Do you realize this, guys? Never. So let's look at Aaron Rodgers. Okay, so now we got Aaron Rodgers. Has he ever sniffed it? What are we talking about here? So let's take a look at this list. This is Aaron Rodgers. We're not going to dig into too much. Just touchdowns, okay? So he doesn't play the first 3 years. He comes in 2008 and he throws 28 touchdowns. So already he's one of the greatest Jets quarterbacks of all time. Okay, that's it. He's right below Vinny Testaverde at number 3. That's where he sits with that year, his first year ever starting. Follows that up with 30, then 28 again. Then he gets 45 in 2011. So 45. Now we're only 5 away, guys. Not too bad. I want to point that real quick. Only 6 picks, too, in that time. That's kind of good. It's kind of interesting. I don't even know what that means either. If you're throwing 6 picks, you're throwing 7 touchdowns. That's the way it is for the Jets. So the next year he comes with 39. So again, all right, not too far away. 45, 39. He's in that pocket where those types of things can be reached. Some drops here, a little bit there, something. You're in that neighborhood at least. 17, that's more Jet-like. 38 again. 31, here he is at 40, 10 away. 16, 25, 26. And then in 2020, the Jordan Love year. Okay, this is Aaron Rodgers' response to them drafting Jordan Love. This is what we see. The highly motivated Aaron Rodgers, 48 touchdown passes. 48 touchdown passes. So guys, that's right there. That's called knocking at the door. Now, the minimum word, I don't know, Boomer. We'll see. But 48, so 45, 39, 38, 40, 48. Then he follows that with 37, and then last year with the broken thumb and everything else going on, he still had 26. So how far off are we really? 2021, 48 touchdown passes is not that long ago. I want to add, the offensive coordinator that he had at that time is on the Jets. One of the receivers, two of the receivers that he had at that time are on the Jets. The right tackle that he had at that time is on the Jets. So there's a nice little collection. If for nothing else, install ease, right? Smooth operating. Getting guys Garrett Wilson, Denzel Mims, Breece Hall, everybody else up to speed. That's going to at least, at bare minimum, accelerate that process, which obviously would be to our benefit. But we got some studs running around. We got a lot of weapons. We got a lot of studs. We got a lot of options from the tight ends to the wide receivers to the running backs. We have a lot of toys for Aaron Rodgers to play with. So here's what I'll say. I'll say, while we are the New York Jets, it's not that we've never been able to get past 30 touchdowns. It's that we haven't had a guy that could. Aaron Rodgers has broken 30 touchdowns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in his career. He's broken 40 3 times in his career. So I don't think this is too unrealistic. Now, unlikely, maybe. Unrealistic, I don't think that we should be thinking that way, Jets fans. I think we should buy into Boomer's assessment. And even though it's far-fetched, I get it. Unlikely, that's lofty. Motivated with potentially a top 5 defense to throw into the mix, I don't see any reason why he can't. I'm fully expecting 50 touchdown passes from this point forward. I'm buying in. I'm believing it. I think you should too. There's no reason to believe that we can't do it. We have a guy who's been knocking at the door. He's here. We've given him pretty much everything he needs. We've given him arguably the best defense that he'll be playing with. He's going to do it. It's realistic, and that's the intelligent gripe. So there you have it, everybody. We're going to win the Super Bowl. You know what we're talking about here. It's the offseason. This is when it's fun. We got to try to make it fun. Let's hang out in the pool and dream about Jets quarterbacks throwing 50 touchdown passes. Garrett Wilson's going to pull in 18 of them. Oh, my God. Wouldn't that be amazing? That's what we're going to do. Why not? Who can tell us otherwise? Screw you. Whatever you're saying is just as hypothetical as whatever I'm saying. Guys, thank you for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. And if you haven't subscribed, please do right now. It's the time to do it. You've been thinking about it all day. Go on, just commit. Do it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your week. And as always, go Jets.